Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. As always, joined by your hosts, myself, Alex Fishbein, and I got Dennis Big Sexy Clausen. What's going on, Dennis?
Is that what they do in China?
They do a little bow.
You're freezing, my man.
I don't know if you have to do the hands too, or I don't know if it's just like by your side. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. But we got some big news. We are big hits in China. We just realized.
We did. We just found out last
big
week.
Hits.
I think it was, or just a few days ago, really. Apparently, we're a top 100 podcast in China. So, top 100 basketball podcast in China.
No, I like the top 100 podcast. But if you want to get technical, top 80.
True. Very true.
So in honor to thank the people of China, though, I have prepared a statement.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
All right. Pardon me.
It's all right.
Ni hao for Big Sexy and Alex Fishbein. Gang si nin shi dai chi yang dang an changang wei wei de zangu rainman gangu bao de Beijing Brook. We man Gangguo Jingbei E Gaji. Yuzim Diao Ran Zia Ting Woman De Xiaoxing. Bing Zwing Yu Jing Yao Ming Ning Zhao Jinjin Zebu Wangzhou De Jingjiang Rainman. Not finished.
Okay.
Weiman Jingwang Woman Zhao Niman Nang Zhang Yao Min Cu. Thank you. Thank you, China.
We appreciate everyone from China watching the show. Appreciate you guys making us top 80 in China.
I probably fucking butchered that. Who the hell knows what I just said? I probably didn't pronounce anything correctly.
I was going to ask you what exactly you said in English, but...
I said the Atlantic Files, the People's Republic of China. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for making us a top... Yeah, I threw a Yao Ming in there. That was the only one I was confident that I actually knew was going to say correctly. But I said I hope that we someday get put on the same level as the greats like Yao Ming, Chinese greats like Yao Ming. You know, I love China, man. I love Chinese food. You know, egg rolls. I love fucking sesame chicken. I love all that stuff.
Chinese food is good, very good. And not just the Americanized Chinese food, the actual Chinese food as well.
I'm sure it's exactly the same over there.
They probably do have a lot of the same stuff, but they probably only give it to Americans.
Well, now that we know we have a following in China. China, if anybody wants to shoot us a message and let us know, please do. Better yet, if you want to send me over something.
Even better.
Or direct me to the nearest Chinese spot. I'm okay with that.
I have seen over in, I don't know if it's either China or Japan or maybe even both, but they have crazy flavors of like Lay's potato chips and stuff like that. Like really weird flavors that we don't get here. There's like sushi flavors and like all sorts of different flavors of chips that we don't get. So
Well, I mean, normally I would shit on something like that, but since we have such a huge following, I figured I'd be like every other corporate interest and, and just say, you know what, that sounds great. We love you, China.
Send some our way just to do a taste test. We'll do it right here on stream.
So a couple of the flavors we have: Lay's roasted garlic oyster flavor. Lay's
we have that,
spicy.
Or China has that?
China, I believe.
Okay.
Lay's pickled fish flavor. Lay's fried crab flavor. Lay's roasted cumin lamb skewer flavor. Lay's, and I think that was Chinese. Yeah, so Lay's Italian red meat flavor.
Oh,
I guess spaghetti's popular in China. I just read.
I guess so.
Lay's yam crisps.
Well,
and Lay's yam crisp cucumber flavored.
Oh, yam crisps. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
China.
Speaking of chips, I think it's hers has a Philly like flavor contest going on, and I think it's whichever flavor sells the most will be like their next like permanent flavor in the Philly area. And it's between, I don't know if you've ever had Corpolees in the Philly area.
No.
But they're famously known for their tomato pie. I don't know. Have you ever had tomato pie?
Oh, or my area is the mecca of tomato pie.
Okay. All right.
The claim to fame around here is tomato pie.
Oh, I didn't know that about Syracuse.
Well, not necessarily Syracuse, but like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Utica.
I've heard the name, yeah.
So Utica is really famous for, Rome, like tomato pie. But another Utica staple is the upside down pizza where they put sauce on top of the cheese instead of the traditional cheese on top of the sauce, which I absolutely despise putting sauce on top of cheese. I just absolutely cannot fucking stand when they do that. But apparently people like it.
Okay. This place, it's a bakery essentially, and they just have multiple locations around the Philly area called Corpolees. So the flavor of chips is Corpolees tomato pie. And I actually had those. They were very good. And not only on my authority because my taste is fucked up, but everyone else that I gave it to said it was really good. So that one apparently is the winning one of my friends. The other one is there's a Korean barbecue flavor, which I haven't had yet. And the other flavor is roast pork sandwich. So
we don't like Korea. Which one does China like? That's the one we like.
I feel like China likes North Korea, but not.
Okay, then we like North Korea.
Exactly.
There's nothing funny going on over in North Korea.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
Totally.
No, but tomato pie is like so awkward because like it's like you hear that fucking dog?
Yeah, very faintly.
I can't stand it. It's like, do something. Anyways, tomato pie is like a sauce. It's like sauce, but like Parmesan cheese on it.
Yeah,
but it's like cold. You can eat it like it's just such a weird fucking thing. I've never been a big tomato pie guy. I'm traditional Brooklyn, cracker ass thin pizza, crunchy, grease dripping down it. That's pizza right there.
Oh, I agree.
Another thing Utica is famous for is greens. I don't know if you've ever heard of greens.
Greens, like what?
Greens like the kind of like a lettuce, but then also chicken riggies. You ever hear chicken riggies?
I've never heard of chicken riggies. Is greens kind of like collard greens, but just a different way to make it? Correct.
They usually are like spicy, and they have sausage, and then also, like I said, chicken riggies, which is like some kind of like, I think it's like rigatoni. with like spicy sauce and like chicken.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. But I'm not. I do not like chicken riggies because it's spicy as fuck. I'm not a big greens guy. Again, it's spicy as fuck. I'm not a upside down pizza guy because I think it's garbage, and I'm not a big. I'm not a big. The other thing we were talking about, tomato pie. I'm not a big tomato pie guy either. But if you say anything about tomato pie, people want to fight you because I'm like, I hate tomato pie.
I do like tomato pie, especially like with parties with a bunch of people and stuff like that. Like it's a good thing to just bring and kind of put out there so you don't have to like do much. And I do like the Corporalee's tomato pie especially, but I will still take regular pizza over tomato pie for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all down for apple pie, peach pie, cream pies, oatmeal cream pie, like any pie. Poontang pie, like anything I get my hands on, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Tomato pie, not one of them.
I got you. I will say though, like with the upside down pizza, at that point I'd rather just have tomato pie. Like if you're, I wouldn't want the cheese underneath either. I would just do the tomato pie.
Well, see what they do though is instead of like sprinkle shredded mozzarella, they cut off slices of mozzarella, so it looks like it's like they just flat. It's a whole fucking thing. I don't want to talk about it because I can't stand it.
All right. Well, in that case, let's talk about some basketball then.
Good.
First person I want to bring up. You can thank him for my little headline over here. John Collins traded for essentially a bag of hot Cheetos. He is on his way to Utah for, what was it, a second round pick and
Rudy Gay,
who a lot of people didn't even know that Rudy Gay was still in the league. If you're in a 30-team fantasy league like you and I, we know everybody in the league because you have to.
I have him on my team. I have Rudy Gay on my team.
Oh, he's still on your team?
For now. I mean, I might hang out. He's only $1 for me.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yeah, you might as well hang on to him for that much.
Little known fact real quick about these hot Cheetos is that a lot of kids ended up in the emergency room from eating hot Cheetos.
Really?
Yeah, I guess their stomachs can't handle it. So keep them away from your kids.
I mean, they are pretty terrible food in general. Like any Cheeto really isn't. Like if we're talking chips,
fine
like
cuisine,
right? If we're talking chips and like that genre of snacks, Cheetos should not be at the top of the list.
Well, Cheetos is good, but when you eat Cheetos, like I'm not a big chip guy, but I'll dabble every so often.
Right,
but
same.
I'd rather eat a sandwich. But like when you look at Cheetos and like Fritos and Doritos, like these fucking things, when you eat them, they leave such a weird aftertaste in your mouth that it's not even worth it.
Agreed. I'd rather have like actual like cheese puffs or something rather than Cheetos. You know what I mean? Like a
for that cheese and crackers
cheese puffs or something. Oh,
you're big on this Hertz tonight. I've never heard of Hertz.
They're a Philly brand. They're
Do
just
they have a phase anywhere?
Maybe during Pride Month.
Yeah.
But no, hers is just a snack company in the Philly area. That's why.
I mean, it's fitting. We're talking about Pride Month. We're talking about Rudy Gay. So what the hell?
Exactly.
It fits.
So John Collins had a pretty terrible year last year. Career lows in 3-point percentage, almost a career low in points per game, career low in rebounds per game, assists per game, close to a career low in blocks per game, still hovering around 3 fouls per game, so that didn't really go down. Shooting percentage, also a career low actually, but it's still 50.8% because he's not really shooting that far away from the hoop. So yeah, pretty much everything's down. He averaged 13 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.1 turnovers, shooting 50.8, and then 29.2% from 3 last year. Still another 2 or 3 seasons. Sorry, 2 seasons plus a player option season left on his contract for 25.3, 26.5, 26.5 mil.
You want to know something though? With teams looking to save some cash, I actually love that deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting paid a crazy high amount per year, but if he produces the same way he did last season, he's making way too much money.
Well, can you really though hold that against him?
I mean, you can't hold the whole thing against him.
I mean,
the Hawks were a shit show.
I mean, look at the Hawks, right? The Hawks, they changed their coach halfway through the year.
Yep.
Trae Young was up to his usual hijinks. They added DeJounte Murray, which completely changed the entire like offense, like how it's run. You have, guys in and out of the starting lineup, like DeAndre Hunter, and then like Clint Capella was, he was banged up a little bit, and you had Onyeka Okongwu, and then so it's hard to find like consistency there. And you're like I said, the change in the coach is a huge thing. Not that Snyder like introduced like a whole new offensive scheme into the things. He kind of like tried to simplify it, but that takes its toll on a guy. So
True.
I mean, I would judge John Collins like based on his previous years before this season. Like he's a double guy at least.
I mean, yeah, he can be. I mean,
but his problem is he's just.
Go ahead.
His problem is he can't stay healthy.
That's part of it. Yes. I mean,
no, that's a huge part of it.
This past season and his rookie season have been the most games he's played in a year. So rookie season played 74. This past season played 71. In between there, you have going from most recent to oldest, 54, 63, 41, 61. And his best season of his career was also the least amount of games played in a season, which was that 2019-2020 season. He played 41 games. He averaged 21.6 points, 10.1 rebounds a game. And
I mean, though, when you consider like he's costing you $23 million a year, that's in today's NBA, that's like a bargain for a guy who, when he does play, he's not terrible. I mean, he's like above average.
Right.
It's not great, but he's a solid player.
True.
And like Utah doesn't like to spend a ton of cash. For one, nobody's coming to the fucking games, but two, like, why not? You're giving up Rudy Gay, and you're getting Rudy Gay had a $7 million player option that he opted into in order to make it happen. So theoretically, you're looking at like $15 million.
True. I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So right now, this is who is around John Collins in terms of average annual value. So he's averaging around $25 million a year. And the first 3 guys making a little bit more than him are Wiggins, Jaylen Brown, Jaren Jackson. And then the 3 right after him are Draymond Green. Well, for the past season, he was making 24.9. Mikal Bridges at 22.7, and then you got DeAndre Hunter at 22.5 and Aaron Gordon at 21.5.
I mean, though, when he got that,
I was just gonna say, I just think out of the list of those players, he's probably either he's probably second worst there. I'd probably put DeAndre Hunter at the worst out of that list of players.
Yeah, but when he got that deal, though, he was certainly worth $23 million a year.
True. I mean, he got that deal right after his best season.
When he goes to Utah, I think he's got a really good shot at turning things around. He'll probably be happier.
True. He doesn't have to deal with as much drama.
As happy as you can get being in Utah, but,
That too. I mean, the big thing about
I'm sure
Utah,
he would have rather loved like New York or something, but
right. the big thing about Utah is you got to get a better point guard in there. I mean, right now they have Colin Sexton, which they're talking about trading him. He's been in trade rumors. Jordan Clarkson is still there. He's not much of a distributing type of player. He took some strides distributing wise. Like, he definitely got better there, but not his strongest suit. He's going to be playing alongside Lauri Markkanen, and then Walker Kessler most likely will start at center. If not, then it's Kelly Olynyk. And then, yeah, who else do you have there that I'm not thinking? They traded away Conley. They traded away Beasley.
I mean, you don't really have a lot to work with there. Like, Sexton was like the guy, and then, Taylor Horton-Tucker, who the hell knows what's going to happen with him.
Horton-Tucker.
Agbaji showed flashes of like being a decent player last year. Chris Dunn is still signed.
That's true.
To a deal. But, I mean, if you look at, they pick Kelly Olynyk's going to be $12. Jordan Clarkson probably is going to opt out of his deal because he'll get more money, at least a little bit more money than the $14 million he could make this year. He'll probably get that somewhere at least and have a chance to like be in a contending team. Colin Sexton's got 3 years left on that extension he signed before, in the Donovan Mitchell deal.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Sexton had some, he started this last season off on the bench.
Right.
He started getting some starts, more so after Conley was gone, but he started to actually like look like Colin Sexton a little bit. Then he had this hamstring thing pretty much for the entire rest of the year and wasn't. I would like to see like one more season from Colin Sexton. Like give him one more year. The worst thing that'll happen is his value is not going to get any lower really than it is now. At least I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm. No,
if anything, his cap is a lot higher and he can play a lot better than as long as he stays healthy. Then I think, but yeah, I think Utah could be like is a couple moves away from at least being like a playing team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I especially with how surprisingly good they were this year with Markkanen really blowing up. I mean, Walker Kessler, I think, will definitely be a big mainstay for them in both the rebounding and defensive categories. And then, like, Agbaji did show some good signs. We'll see if he does actually come to fruition. And then, yeah, Colin Sexton, he is only 24. That's the good thing right now. He's obviously had his injury issues. He played 48 games last year, 11 games the year before with Cleveland before he got traded. But his 3 seasons that he played 60 or more games, he put up a very solid stat line in each one.
I think that season before last season, he was either averaging 20 points or 24 points. 24 points?
Yeah. So the 2020-2021 season, he put up 24 points a game, 4.4 assists, 3.1 rebounds, and 1 steal a game. And then the year before he was averaging 20.
He doesn't do anything outside of scoring.
Yeah,
but he's a good scorer.
His defense is decent, but it can't be like he's pretty limited defensively because he's only 6'2". That's the main issue there.
He's a scorer. That's it. That's really all you're getting. You're getting like above average to really, really good scoring from him, and that's about it. You're not getting anything else.
True. I would be surprised if Utah holds on to Jordan Clarkson for much longer. I feel like that's a piece that they could part with to get somebody younger and still solid. But
Clarkson has a player option
for this coming year or next, or
for this coming season.
Oh, okay. Has he opted in yet?
No, I don't think so. But the deadline is in like 3 days.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, I believe, don't quote me, is that the Jazz have at least have his bird right. So I think he is extension eligible
Mm-hmm.
to where at least he can sign. They could finagle something, but
Mm-hmm.
if not, it's whatever.
True. I mean, I will say I did like the excuse me. I did like the draft picks from Utah. Deanna here says tea about John Collins getting traded for Cheetos.
I thought she was talking about the tea in my circle because I'm actually drinking tea.
Oh, are you? What kind of tea you
Yeah,
drinking?
I'm drinking it's like a southern sweet tea and lemonade.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Um, but so I like their draft getting Taylor Hendricks. They also got Keontae George way down in the draft, um, who who really showed signs of being a score first, um, like off the bench type of player. And Taylor Hendricks just adds more to their forward depth and their length. So now you got Collins, Hendricks, Kessler, Markkinen. Olenek is kind of just back there. That's a solid front court at least, but I need to see more in their guard and wing department.
You know what? Chris Dunn wasn't bad.
No, he wasn't. If he can reinvent himself and really play a key role for the team, I would love that because Chris Dunn had so much promise coming into the league.
Well, he won't,
Um,
but still,
no,
it's still a nice to think about.
right. It's a nice little dream.
But I believe, though, after the acquisition, though, of John Collins, I think that basically takes him out of the running of Kuzma, which,
Hmm.
whatever, because that idiot's probably going to get like max money.
See, and that's the thing. Even though I'm not a big John Collins guy, I would take John Collins on this contract for only trading a second round in Rudy Gay than I would way before I would take Kyle Kuzma for his 30 million a year that he's looking for.
I would not sign Kyle Kuzma.
No, it sucks that the Kings are looking at him like pretty in depth now as one of their free agent targets because I don't think they need Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, they're smarting up. Even though I will say Kuzma is an upgrade over Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, but you're also going to pay him a lot more.
Well, if they have the
So
money and they can't sign anybody else, I mean, what the hell?
yeah, I mean that's true,
I mean,
but
if you're looking to win a title and he's the only guy you could add, and you're looking to like make it deep into the postseason, like immediately, with the bonus, and not that they're old, but I mean, like you only have a certain window here with guys like Davion Mitchell and those core guys. They got rid of Rashawn Holmes, your boy,
true.
and so yeah, I would hope though that the Kings aren't that stupid to take Kyle Kuzma.
I really hope not. I still believe in Rashawn Holmes though. I still think he can help a team out. So
I'm
we'll
still
see
waiting
about
for that, to be honest with you.
that. I'm not saying he'll be a starter or anything, but I think he could help somebody.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, he's been
Um,
really helpful. I mean, he was
so
really
helpful.
helpful in Sacramento last year.
He was a good locker room guy.
He sits there.
Exactly. So moving on to one of the bigger trades, especially for the Atlantic Division, Kristaps Porzingis heading to Boston. Marcus Smart goes to Memphis. Tyus Jones goes to Washington. I haven't mentioned any of the other players because most of them are just kind of fodder players like
Nobody
Gallinari.
cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about them. Gallinari's probably going to get bought out. A lot of them are either going to get bought out or waived. What are your thoughts about this trade? Because I sent out my preliminary thoughts on one of our shorts here on YouTube just as a test for some of my equipment that I was setting up. But what do you think?
Well, I'll touch on Memphis first because I at least like Marcus Smart, because if you bring Marcus Smart in, I kind of think that that was a move to kind of keep somebody in check once he comes back. Hopefully Marcus Smart has a positive influence on Morant when Morant comes back, which I think if you're by getting rid of, moron Dylan Brooks and bringing in a guy like Marcus Smart, who is very intense, has got good leadership skills and things like that, I think that's going to be great for Memphis. Unfortunately, they had to get rid of Tyus Jones, who been saying for years, I think he's the best backup point guard in the league, but now it looks like he's actually going to get a chance to be in the starting lineup in Washington, and I think that's a really good pickup for Washington.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're considering you're going to get a guy who will give you 13, 14 points, 7 assists, and maybe a steal or two a game. Like Tyus Jones is a really good player, and I think that's a really good move from Washington. And then Porzingis on paper, you would think that it looks good. I said it before. At one time, you could argue Porzingis is a top 10 player in the league at least. Sure. Just his problem is, even when he was in New York and he was in Dallas, he had these knee issues. He battled little injuries in Washington, nothing like too crazy, but he was super productive in Washington, so much so that he was like in the All-Star conversation. So I'm rooting for him to do really well for himself, because he's been in a lot of bad situations in his career, and I think for the first time in his career, if he could stay healthy, you'll actually see what he's fully capable of. Because in New York was New York. They certainly weren't doing anything when he was there. When he went to Dallas, it was kind of like, okay, he's going to Dallas, but Washington, he got thrown there because he was just hurt all the time. And I mean, the people of Washington can't be mad at him, though, because the guy played his ass off when he was in Washington, so you got to give it to him.
And it was one of his healthiest seasons of his career.
It was one, I'm hoping that continues when he goes to Boston. Now, Boston definitely needed to make an upgrade at the center spot. Al Horford's just not going to get it done anymore. Robert Williams is about a 15-minute, 20-minute per game guy, because he can't do anything more than that. Wouldn't be surprising to me if Robert Williams ended up getting moved. Grant Williams, he was kind of probably he's not officially on his way out, but he's not going to be back more than likely.
Right.
So I think it's a nice move to kind of give some guys some, opportunities to grow, you know what I mean? Gallinari, he's gone. He wasn't doing them any good. And then you can finally get a chance to see what the other guys can do who are looking for playing time.
True. I mean, like you said, I like the move on paper for Boston, because adding a second, third option scorer from the center spot that can also play a little bit of defense and rebound just as a big 7-foot body will always add a good wrinkle to your offense. My thing is, and I said this on one of our other YouTube videos, if you guys look at our shorts, you'll find it on there. I just don't know about the intangible part of this trade, because Marcus Smart was the obvious leader of this team. Because Tatum wasn't the vocal leader. Jaylen Brown wasn't a vocal leader. He would just talk in press conferences and talk about certain things he didn't like. Al Horford was probably the other leader of this team, and especially veteran leader. But Marcus Smart,
they talked about that all postseason.
Exactly. But Marcus Smart was the heart, soul, and everything of the Celtics team, as well as their best defender, who could defend many positions other than just point guard. And this deal makes it seem as though they believe way more in Derek White, who, don't get me wrong, did an amazing job in the postseason, defensively and offensively. But they definitely have more hope in Derek White. We saw that Malcolm Brogdon is too hurt to make any deal to ship him away, because that was going to be the original deal with the Clippers. And then now...
Which, if you're the Clippers, like, are you stupid if you're the Clippers? Like, you already have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Now you want to add Brogdon to the mix?
I know. They just want everyone to be hurt. Norm Powell was hurt for them all the time.
I mean, I'm being serious here. Is that, like, did they not see a problem with that? Like, the judgment on adding some of these guys? Like, whatever.
I don't think they do their homework, and I think their training staff is on drugs. They have to be. Because I don't know what else they would be doing.
Well, they got a couple prima donnas there who don't feel like playing.
I mean,
and then you hear the report, you know, Kawhi Leonard just underwent a cleanup in his knee, and it's like, okay, well, that I'd be like, enough. I'm getting rid of him. I've had enough.
Exactly.
Time to hit the reset button. I'm glad you bought. You know, you're getting a new arena, and you want to fill the seats, and you got about 1,600 toilets and urinals in the place, and you know, but enough. Like, it's not like time to move on here.
Yeah. I mean, at least Paul George is in trade rumors, so it sounds like they might be looking around to see if they could finally get someone that stays healthy. But they need to just blow it all up at this point.
Absolutely. There's just not...
Everyone on the team is aging, other than, like, 2 or 3 of the guys. Like, Terrence Mann, Zubats, and, like... Amir Coffey.
Who, like, I don't understand why Amir Coffey, like, does it, but anyways, who cares? Like, whatever.
Anyway, yeah.
So, and then finally...
I was just going to say, so they fell out of the trade, and I think that Marcus Smart to Memphis makes a lot of sense, especially since John Morant will be out for at least 25 games, or 20 games, or whatever the hell that suspension was. And then...
It's 25 for now, but who
25.
knows if that'll get appealed.
I'm sure it probably will at some point. But Marcus Smart at least brings someone to kind of shore up that defense. Definitely has like a Memphis grind city kind of attitude to bring over there. He might actually get John Morant to stop being an idiot. Who knows? We'll see about that.
Yeah, probably not, but...
Probably not. But I agree with you in the fact that Tyus Jones to Washington is a great move for them, especially you got off of Bradley Beal's contract and you didn't really get much out of that other than Chris Paul, which we'll talk about what they got for Chris Paul as well, which was a good move by them. So now you got a bunch of second-round picks for Bradley Beal, essentially, and then you get Tyus Jones now for Porzingis, who... In all honesty, you're going to pay him a bunch of money to really just kind of be a waste because he's doing all this stuff for you for your team just to not make the playoffs. So essentially, it's like get him somewhere else, let him actually compete for something and get something in return. And Tyus Jones is probably one of the better things I could have imagined that Washington got for Kristaps Porzingis. So, I really like Tyus Jones in there. It obviously allows for them to... like, now move Monte Morris. He's on the trade block. Now they're looking at DeLone Wright, see if he's on the trade, see if they could get any value for him. They already don't have to worry about Kuzma. They're going to have all this cap space opening up. So, all in all, I think Washington wins the most out of this 3-team trade, and Boston would probably be second.
Well, they have some guy, like, I know, like, the Lakers could probably use Monte Morris. I know a lot of teams you probably could use a Monte Morris or a guy like Wright. You know what I mean? So... I don't think Washington's done making moves, and I am so glad that they finally came to their senses and they got rid of Bradley Beal.
Agreed.
Which eventually, even though they, got Chris Paul, it eventually turned into Jordan Poole, which to me, I'd rather have Jordan Poole any day of the week.
I 1000% agree.
Know what I mean?
And then, did you see that after the trade, Jordan Poole unfollowed Draymond Green immediately after?
Boy, but they really worked things out.
I know.
But Draymond Green, though, like, I don't... looking at it and looking how he acts this offseason and things like that, I'm kind of siding with Jordan Poole. I think Draymond Green is a big baby.
Honestly, the more he just talks random shit on his podcast and the more he talks all this, like, demanding more years and money and things like that, I'm siding with Jordan Poole a little bit more, too.
I mean, Draymond Green's always been an idiot, though.
True. That's very true. And then this whole, like, for Portland, all of a sudden, like, Dame's dream scenario is to sign Draymond and re-sign Jeremy Grant. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
Well, if my superstar came up to me and said, here's how we can fix this, we got to get Draymond Green, I would have said, can't we just trade you? Yeah, I would be seriously concerned if he came up to me and was like, here, I got it. We got to get Draymond Green. Like, Jeremy Grant, I'll hear you all day on that, but Draymond Green, what's he going to get you?
Right? And especially with, like, the team that they have, what is Draymond Green really adding?
Nothing.
Like, how is Draymond Green taking that team from the team that got the number 3 pick to the championship? That's not happening.
They got a guy who's NBA ready right now to play.
Right.
So he's a guy who's going to make an immediate, like, difference right off the bat. I still think that they should have looked to trading, maybe getting Pascal Siakam.
Right.
But even probably at that time, they're like, we don't even know if we're rebuilding or not because we don't even know what Damian Lillard's going to do. So they just had a conversation, apparently. But don't you think you should have had that fucking conversation maybe like immediately after the season ended before he went to Mexico or wherever the hell he went?
At the very least before the draft.
Why are we having a sit down 2 days before the new league year starts? Why are we finally coming out and saying we're committed to building around Damian Lillard? Why is he like what is this? Like, you can't come out and say, like, right after the season's over, just be like, hey, before you go to Mexico, can you come have dinner? Can we sit down? We want to talk and fucking take it from there. Be like, hey, listen, I don't want any of this bullshit of I need time, blah, 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 because you were thinking about it throughout the entire season, what you wanted to do, so I need a fucking answer right now. You weren't playing the end of the season, so it's not like you were focused on play. You were focused on doing nothing.
Right.
So tell us what you want to do. Do you want to stay or do you want to leave?
And it's crazy that, like, they come out of this meeting and say, like, oh, Dame is just giving us, one more year to try and build around him, and then if not, he wants a trade. It's like,
it don't work like that.
No. And he's, 31, 32, maybe even more than that? He's
right. It don't work
32.
like that.
He's about to turn 33 in, like, a couple weeks. And now you're like, oh, I'll give you one more year. Like, that's stupid. It's not only from the team's part, but from his own perspective. Why would you give them another year when you're taking up most of the fucking cap space?
That's like a girl saying, like, I'll sleep with you one more time, but if you suck, I'm going, like, to go bang another guy.
Exactly. And
I'd be
on
like,
top
fuck
of that,
you, go now.
him and Bradley Beal are similar in the fact that they're like, I want to stay with this team and win a championship, but at the same time, pay me shitloads of money so that you can't sign as many people to help me win a championship. Like, what exactly... like, there's guys in the NFL, there's guys in other leagues that will take a pay cut that should probably be getting paid as one of the top players in the entire league, but they take a pay cut because they know that they need extra players to win a championship. You got Bradley Beal getting 50, 60 million a year. Damian Lillard next year is getting 45.6, then 48.7, then 58.5, and then a player option for 63 million in the 2026-27 season. And in that year, he's going to be, let's see, this year's 33, then 34, 34. He'll be 36 years old and being owed 63.2 million. There's no way he's declining that option.
No, fuck no.
So, like...
unless his rap career takes off.
Even then, you're not making 63 million in a year in your rap career. Unless you're Jay-Z, who's now... like 30 years into the game making $1 billion because he's married to Beyonce.
I don't know how, like, his rap's not even that good.
I mean, I love his old music, but yeah.
Doesn't everybody say that about everything? It's not as good as it used to be.
Definitely, especially the older generation of rap is just like it's just too TikTok-y.
I don't know, though. I will say, and this may give me a little bit more cred on the streets, but I hit the gym. I don't know if you can tell how jacked up I am, but I hit the gym, and I probably for a week straight, from start to finish, I did listen to that 21 Savage Drake album, which I really, really liked.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's a solid album.
I'm cool though. See,
that definitely gets you some street cred. For
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. There's like there
I'm
are
huge in China.
There are new artists that like I do like. There's new rap I do like, but when it comes to the older generation of rappers and even just musical artists in general, I tend to like their older stuff more because now it's like you're trying to teach an old dog new tricks. They're trying to like turn into like TikTok stars through their music when I'm like, you're already a big enough star. You don't need to make a song for TikTok. You know what I mean?
You know who made TikTok? China, and we love China. So, but
we still love TikTok.
Still love TikTok. China, we love China. But the thing is, like, I don't know. You could be absolutely have no talent, and you'll be a TikTok sensation.
Oh, for sure. You just have to not be ugly.
Right.
Anyway, moving on to one of the trades, Jordan Poole.
But I always say, like, why are these guys on TikTok though? Like all the time, it's like, can we get a masculine guy ever on TikTok? All these guys are makeup artists.
Well, apparently, the Raptors draft pick, Grady Dick. First off, great name. Second off, the Raptors fans found his TikTok, and he apparently makes tons of TikToks.
Oh,
and
God.
The fans
about
are
what?
Him doing stupid dances and just stupid stuff. And
I would trade him immediately.
The fans are dying laughing at how dumb his TikToks are.
But like dumb in a good way, or dumb this guy should have took it down before he went and played college basketball?
More so in a good way. Just like dumb, like he looks like such a dork, so it's funny to laugh at him kind of thing.
I mean, what he was wearing at the draft was atrocious.
It was. I sent it to one of my old roommate, my old college roommate, and he was like, "Why does he look like Dorothy's slipper?" And I was like, actually, he said that it is a reference to Dorothy's slipper because he went to Kansas.
I mean, though, in all honesty, though, like, I mean, get off of the TikTok. And these guys are always like, hey, guys, today we're talking about makeup. And it's like, come on. Can I watch a guy chop a tree down or something? Like,
the thing is,
change brakes.
I've seen some TikToks on just like the most random shit on there. Like one account that always comes up on my TikTok is this dude that cooks meals on an open fire in the woods.
Oh, I watched that guy. Now that's a video.
Like, and he puts the camera real close to the food, and you hear him chop it, and it sizzle and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've been really into this barber too, watching this barber like shave and like do ASMR, so I don't fucking know.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, there's some ASMR things on there that I'm like, I didn't know that I enjoyed this, but now that I do, I don't know how it makes me feel.
Well, there's ASMR in other areas too that I enjoy, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. Zion agrees.
You know? So
Zion and Doc Rivers are watching it too.
Boy, that fizzled out though, huh?
Seriously. Did you see she got a tattoo on her face of his name?
No.
Yeah, apparently she got his name tattooed on her face.
Was this after all this happened?
Yeah, it was like a day or two ago.
Oh my God, she's crazy.
Yeah, she's nuts.
It's like, Zion, can't you just stay on the couch and eat and play video games? You gotta get caught up in all this stuff.
He was fine when everyone just thought that's all he was doing was just eating and gaining weight. Now he's just adding fuel to the fire.
Now he's getting fat and dealing with crazy bitches.
And knocking people up.
But honestly, like, I never thought Zion, when I pictured Zion Williams, like, at least 2 weeks ago, I just pictured a fat guy in sweatpants. Like he's maybe got, like, a couple friends who come over and, like, just they order pizza and they hang out, watch movies, and just play 2K and Madden and stuff. Like, I never thought for a minute that he would have, like, such a massive collection of like bitches.
I didn't either. Especially because he's just like, he just seems to be like one of those like goofy guys that everyone's just like, oh, he's cute, but like he's not like a ladies' man. Like when he walks down the court and he's just like slumping over like that.
Right, he's like a fat baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I looked at him.
Oh, Zion. Yeah, Zion, you're so cute. Surprise.
With a stupid one hoop earring.
Yeah, surprised. He's fucking putting it down.
Exactly.
I mean, good for him, though. I mean, but come on.
True.
Like,
yeah, good for him. I agree. Anyway, so getting back to where we were. Jordan Poole also headed to Washington for Chris Paul. I think this is a great trade for Washington. Now you got Jordan Poole to play more of the off-ball type of guard to Tyus Jones, which I think is a nice little backcourt duo right there. You got Jordan Poole under contract for like 3 or 4 more seasons too. So his contract doesn't look too bad. He's only, let's see. He's under
21.
Contract. Yes. And so his extension kicks in starting next season, and he's under contract for the next 4 seasons, making 28, then 30, then 33, then 35 million. So I mean, due to make a good bit of money. However, like you said, 24 years old, still has tremendous amount of potential, tremendous upside. Had a little bit down of a year than expected last year, but also because he's on a team with a guy that fucking punched him in the face in practice. So, still,
I hope people learned a lesson though in all this.
What's that?
Well, I'll tell you. I was going to tell you.
Okay.
I don't believe anything you read. All right. So, for one, we've been hearing for months that Jordan Poole and Draymond Green fucking patching's up. Apparently, that ain't true. Two, we heard Steve Kerr come out and say after the season that he wants Jordan Poole on the team. Apparently, that ain't fucking true.
So did Dunleavy.
That's just that the new HMFIC in charge. You know what that stands for, right? It's trying to be cool.
Head motherfucker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have him now saying he wants to keep him. That was bullshit. More of the story, don't believe a goddamn thing you hear. Just like you hear Damian Lillard's not going anywhere. Don't believe it until you see it. It's bullshit.
Especially in a press conference. They're never going to say anything. The only time you want to believe something in a press conference is if they actually say something negative. Because they never say negative things in a press conference. They never are like, oh yeah, we're shipping this guy out. So if they did say that, you believe that because people don't do that in press conferences. However,
they never do it.
Exactly. So when they come out and just say like, yeah, we want to keep this guy. Don't fucking believe that until you see it. Because half the people that say that, they never come back.
Well, I mean, at least that's the smart way to do it, though, because unless you could be like the Suns and say, "Hey, we're going to trade him if we don't find a way, if we don't waive him, we're going to trade him." Be like, well, why the fuck am I going to trade for him when you're going to waive him?
Which is exactly what's about to happen with Kyle Lowry.
I mean, come on.
I mean,
I understand. Time
why.
to go, Kyle. Yeah, time to go, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll end up on the Lakers.
He's either going to end up on the Lakers or the Sixers.
One of the two. There's no other. Like, he's the perfect Laker, though.
Oh yeah, taking charges, doing all the dirty work, all that kind of shit.
Well, no, just like past its prime and fucking another injury-prone, addition to. And I love too, and this is another thing that fucking ate me up. It has nothing to do with Jordan Poole to Washington or Chris Paul to, wherever, but Golden State. But immediately, LeBron's been saying for years, right? I want to play with my son.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have a couple more years left. But the fucking media, as soon as the Lakers season ended, the media goes out and starts putting it in people's heads about LeBron James retiring. And they're doing that so much that when people write articles about LeBron James, that they're saying like LeBron hasn't officially came out and said he's coming back for the season. Like he's not retiring. I'm going to put this to rest right now. All right.
Okay.
For anybody who doubts it, and you heard it here first, LeBron James has a 128% chance of going back to playing again. Oh. There's a 0% chance he is retiring. He is not retiring. If you read anything in any news that he is considering retiring, it is bullshit. Fake news. Thank you.
1,000% agree. I mean, what would he get out of retiring right now?
Nothing.
Exactly. Everyone knows, and everyone has pretty much talked about the fact that he brought up retirement so that people didn't talk about him being swept. Like, he knows what he's doing in terms of bending storylines so that people don't talk about him negatively. He is very soft in that aspect, that like he really hates negative publicity and will always do anything to get the story changed out of that.
Oh my God, how many press conferences you see him either lash out or just get up and walk out?
Yeah. Like, he will always change the story to a different topic that will make him look like he's in a better light.
But I wish somebody would have asked me, like, at the end of the season if LeBron was retiring. So I would have said, no, he's not. So now you can focus on the Lakers sucking.
Right. Exactly. There's no
But
way.
it's like, is he that self-absorbed, though, to where he thinks that he has to justify getting swept by the NBA champions?
Yes. I think he is, to be honest.
But it's like, okay, we get it. The Lakers fans should be just glad you made it that far. Like, fuck, we didn't even think you were going to make it that far. I would be ecstatic if I were a Lakers fan.
Most of us didn't think they were even going to make the playoffs.
Correct. But you made the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, you got your ass beat by the Nuggets, but I mean, whatever.
But they also won the finals in 5 games. So, like...
Correct. Like, easily.
Yeah. So it's like, it really shouldn't be that crazy of something that... And, like, that's the thing, though, is the media probably would have been like, oh, no, LeBron James got swept. What does that have to do for his legacy and him versus Michael Jordan and all that kind of bullshit? And it's like, the dude's pushing 40. He's been in the league 20-plus years. He's probably going to get swept at some point. If he hasn't already. I think he has already. But even if he hasn't, he's going to get swept at some point. He's not... We have seen him slow down a bit. He's not carrying a team on his back for 82 games plus the postseason anymore. Just get over the fact that he is not prime LeBron James anymore. And then we can just go back to normal shit. Oh, he's still great. Don't get me wrong. But everyone expects him to still be Cleveland LeBron or Miami LeBron. And he's just not.
Oh, though, he was bawling his eyes out when he couldn't hook up with his buddy Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah. Now he has to go play with Steph Curry, and that's his arch nemesis.
Yeah, but honestly, I think like LeBron, though, like his choice of guys that he associated himself with over the years was a big reason why, like for some reason he had this love affair for J.R. Smith. Tristan Thompson is still floating around. It's like Tristan Thompson.
Kyrie.
Well, that's a little bit like they hated each other, but now they're like trying to jerk each other off to get back to, playing with each other again.
I know.
I don't know who Kyrie loves more, though. LeBron? I think he loves KD a little bit more than LeBron.
It seems like it.
Because I think LeBron is like, he's dumb. When you listen to him talk, he doesn't sound like very articulate.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy is obviously fucking intelligent because he's a billionaire. Almost. And at least he's like able to do stuff like be sociable and everything. Kevin Durant looks like he just killed somebody and buried the body. Like, you ever listen to him talk? He just like, he barely smiles. He looks like a serial killer. And I think Kyrie kind of like resonates with that because he's like, this guy might be crazier than I am.
And on top of that, Kevin Durant's not going to call any of his teammates out on their bullshit.
No, he won't say shit. Yep, he won't say shit. So, I mean, we didn't really know that until he got to Brooklyn. Like, when he was in Golden State, like, I know we're jumping around here. We keep seeing Jordan Poole scroll, but whatever. But, he threw a fit when he was at the Warriors, and then he went to Brooklyn, and we go, yeah, now it's his chance to like be a leader. And then we found out he's not a leader. He's a severely mentally deranged person.
Yeah, he seems to just spend more time trying to clap back at people on Twitter than like anything else, which is. Obviously he's still working on his basketball game. Like, people are going to be like, oh, whatever, you're not, like, he's not dumb, he's still practicing and everything like that. Like, I know all that. But I feel like why even put the effort and time in to do all this on Twitter when you could just be you could look even better legacy wise by actually being a leader on the court and leading a team to a championship that isn't already a super team.
Hey, well, he's down in the Bahamas now with Booker, so you
Yeah.
know. But
But
the Suns are so desperate though that I saw they brought in like Jabari Parker for
yeah.
like to it's like are things that bad like for money that you literally have to resort to this.
It has to be because they're paying Durant, Booker, Ayton, and Beal like over 250 mil for the four of them.
I mean, speaking of Ayton though, here's another thing that I'm going to call bullshit on. DeAndre Ayton's not going to be with the Suns.
No.
100%. He's. I'm gonna. You heard it here first. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to be with the Suns. They were talking about, oh, we like him, we want to keep him. Frank Vogel likes him, blah blah blah. He's gone. He's not coming back. They're as soon as they can trade him, they're going to. And I'm still staying firm on my belief that Kyrie Irving is going to Phoenix.
I mean, I could see it happening. Um, I, especially because Ayton would be a very good fit in Dallas. And the other thing I call bullshit on is the whole rumor of the trade talks between Phoenix and Philly because they said that Phoenix was trying to offer Philly DeAndre Ayton for Tobias Harris. First off, that'd be a pretty dumb trade in Phoenix's part. Second off, why would the Sixers want fucking DeAndre Ayton when their MVP is a center?
Correct. Our man's Keith Pompey reported that.
He did. I just think his... I mean, he also reported that the trade talks between them ended when they tried to talk about a third team. But
no, I think that was a good call. Like, I think I would trust what, like, honestly, that's like more on than like there's a lot of guys reporting stuff that I don't believe, but I certainly believe that.
No, there's a lot of Keith Pompey reports that I definitely believe. I just think the part that Phoenix originally offered Ayton for Tobias, I was like, why would Morey be like, yeah, we'll do that?
Right. We'll get another center. We saw how well that worked out for the Timberwolves.
Exactly.
Know what I mean? And I was being sarcastic.
No, I know.
I don't know. By the way, I don't know if anybody can hear, but I feel like there's a tornado outside. So
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, well, I may die here on the air. So nice knowing China. Thank you, Mohammed. I miss you wherever you are, but
Tyler, we miss you too.
Tyler, where you been? Hanging out with Zion, apparently.
Apparently, him and Zion just getting bitches together. That's how Zion's been getting bitches. Tyler's been getting them for him.
Yeah, good for
But anyway, yeah, I think Jordan Poole to Washington is great for them. Chris Paul to Golden State doesn't really make much sense to me. I guess he's gonna be like sixth man, because I read some report that was like, oh, the new starting five is gonna be Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond Green. I was like, that starting five sounds like it's gonna get beat 7 times out of 10.
The only reason though, like I am like optimistic that could work because I think Chris Paul is, obviously he's a good passer, and I think Steph Curry's so good at off ball and weaving his way in and out of traffic that I think that will really work.
I think it could work in short spurts, but I don't think it could work as their main starting five.
Well, for one, I mean, both of those guys can't stay healthy to be like consistent starting options.
True. Agreed. And Draymond Green's just getting older. Him as a starting center, I don't think is as feasible as it once was.
No. Make Kevon Looney the center.
Exactly.
You're going to get 82 games and then some out of him.
Right. I think having Chris Paul as the sixth man would make the most sense because then he makes your bench units better because of his distribution skills and can make guys like Kuminga, if they keep him, um, Moody, Looney, all those guys, his pick and roll and finding the open guy will make all of them better. So I think having him as the sixth man would be your best option if you're going to keep him.
Kuminga ain't going to be there.
I hope Kuminga goes somewhere with a better situation because he's obviously is in the doghouse there.
I don't know if Kuminga's that good. I'm still not convinced.
I think Kuminga can be a solid starting player. A superstar, probably not, but I think he could be a solid starting player.
Well, shooting needs to improve.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to find it again, but I saw there was like a proposed Sixers trade that brought Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and one other person to Philly and moved Tobias to Indiana, and then two other people to Golden State. And I thought all around it was actually like a very solid trade proposal, at least like the most realistic trade proposal that I've seen just randomly on the internet. But now I can't find it, and now I forget what it is. So, there's that letdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna die. It's pretty stormy right now.
I think I just heard like a little bit of thunder behind you. There was a big thunderstorm here earlier today, and I when I was still at work, and I was like, "All right, this is probably going to be pretty bad."
Yeah, I'm done. Sayonara.
By the way, Keith Pompey did report, when was this? 2 days ago, that the Sixers remain adamant about keeping star forward Tobias Harris.
Well, I believe it then.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We both agree Jordan Poole, good for Washington. Chris Paul will remain to be seen about Golden State. What were your draft reactions? Any surprises at all? Any surprise if something happened, did not happen? What do you think?
No. I mean, you want me to? I didn't know. It wasn't surprising. The only thing surprising was Cam Whitmore.
Yeah, I really want to know why he dropped so far.
Well, they were talking about his knees, which he said that's bullshit. And then they were talking about like character concerns, and then apparently he had a bad like interviews. But like, why are we interviewing this guy? Like, the guy, like, can't we just judge what he's done in college?
Right.
But now he went 20 to the Rockets, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he does with the Rockets. I mean, the Rockets now, so they add Amen. They had Amen Thompson, right? Not Osser.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Pretty sure it's Amen Thompson, who's another guard. Then you add Whitmore, who's like a shooting guard, small forward. You already have Kevin Porter Jr. Then there's Jalen Green, who's probably going to be the shooting guard. Then you have Jabari Smith Jr. at power forward, Sengun at center, and you have Garuba and Kenyon Martin in there as backups. And there's also, they're apparently targeting Brook Lopez as a backup center.
It's more along the lines of just veteran guy with the kids.
Right. They're really
then Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, they're really on the heels of Fred VanVleet. There still is a reported possibility of James Harden going back to Houston.
He ain't going to Houston.
And yeah, so I mean, Houston could look very different at the start of next season, depending on what happens with all these free agent dominoes.
Well, you know how I feel about rookies. I really don't give a shit about rookies. I don't care if you're Wembanyama. I don't care who it is. I don't. I won't. And this has been a rule of mine. Like, I don't give a shit about rookies until they're doing something. So you're doing something, I don't care.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of good players who came out really highly drafted and didn't do a thing.
That's very true. We're still waiting to see Chet Holmgren. I mean, he was out all last year, so we're still waiting to see what he's going to be like in Oklahoma City. We've seen people just get hurt and just never be the same again.
Or just suck.
Anthony Bennett just sucks.
Tommy Brown sucks.
Exactly.
Darko Milicic sucks. Greg Oden sucks.
There's a long line of people that came out in the lottery as a lottery pick and just didn't amount to anything.
Garbage. Correct.
But I do feel as though Charlotte will end up hating the fact they didn't pick Scoot. I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be pretty fucking amazing.
And I know everybody was talking about Brandon Miller, right? Like, he didn't have anything to do with what was going on, but I still question some of his decisions that were made involving that incident. And I also, like, he's also friends, I believe, with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I want to make sure I have the story correct, but wasn't that he let them borrow a gun?
Something along, or no, they left the gun in his car? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Hold on. I'll
Is that even the... But my...
Let's see. A lot of it's just draft links. Was he arrested?
I believe he was questioned, at least, by police.
Brandon Miller gun. He delivered a gun that was used in a shooting.
Okay, we have no concern about that?
So, yeah, back in February it says Brandon Miller brought a teammate a handgun that was used to kill a woman. Reported.
Okay, for one, where's he getting the hand? Supposedly, correct. Allegedly. Where is he getting a handgun from? Allegedly.
That's a great question.
And didn't we just have a guy get suspended for 25 games for a second handgun type situation?
Yep.
And everybody would say, but he didn't kill anybody. Well, for one, the guys he was hanging out with killed somebody, supposedly, apparently, allegedly.
He brought the gun to him, allegedly.
Right. So you have all of these alleged things happen, and even if they didn't happen, I'm still concerned about that. You hear that shit about Scoot.
And especially as the Hornets, you would think with the issues you have with Miles Bridges, you would want to get a guy that's going to be really good, but also a clean record.
Montrezl Harrell, when he was on your team, we saw what happened to him. So I don't know what the hell's going on in Charlotte.
Even the younger guy they had got like a DUI and everything.
That's I don't know. No, but DUI is stupid too. If you drive and you're intoxicated, you're a moron, and that also shows poor judgment.
Especially as a professional athlete, when you guys get all sorts of free ride share stuff and all that kind of shit. Like
the NBA even has like a program, I believe, that will pick these people. I know the NFL does.
The NBA definitely has one. If they don't, what's an Uber to a $1 million a millionaire? Like
you can't throw a guy a couple $100 if you're going out and fucking have him just drive you around for the night.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would be seriously concerned. I mean, you have Steve Clifford as your head coach, which Lord help you, and then you have LaMelo Ball, who played about 2 minutes last season. Lord help you. You got Miles Bridges, who was charged for domestic violence. Montrezl Harrell the year before, who got arrested for all that marijuana or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, whatever. But for those of you because I got attacked on Twitter or wherever it was, I don't. Every once in a while, I'll dabble in something. I'm not a big social media guy, but people are all over my nuts because they're like, he didn't kill anybody. But I'm like, but he supposedly brought a gun and he's hanging out with these guys who killed people supposedly. So we're not concerned about that.
Like, that's what the whole argument with Ja Morant is. He's hanging out with these guys that are influencing him to do all this shit. His friends are the ones that did the laser dots at the opposing team as if they were like the laser sights on a gun. Like, who you hang out with is still a big part of your reputation.
They probably still can't hit anybody even with laser sights.
Probably not. But it's just like, who you hang out with is still a major issue if who the people you're hanging out with are bringing you down.
And honestly, I'm very concerned about the fact that Wembanyama is 7'4", but he only weighs 230 pounds.
Yeah, he's super skinny.
I mean, that's concerning to me.
I agree. He's going to have to bulk up at least a little bit.
He's going to have to hang out with me for like a couple of weeks.
Maybe even Zion.
Oh, that might be a little bit way overboard.
Then we might never see him again.
Right. He'll have like 6 girls pregnant.
Gain 200 pounds.
Right. Fucking Cheeto stain on his uniform.
Oh, God. But I did want to say, actually, there was another person in the draft that either got cited or arrested or something because he borrowed a friend's car that they left a gun inside, and then he got pulled over and they found the gun. So it's a product of who the fuck you're hanging out with. Stop hanging out with people that just leave guns everywhere or ask you to bring them a gun or ask you to do illegal shit or ask you to flash guns on social media. Because you're in the spotlight no matter what. If you like it or not, if you want to be in the NBA, you're in the spotlight because you're making millions of dollars. You're supposed to be a role model for all these sorts of kids looking up to you as athletes. Whether you like it or not, like, you have to smarten up and make these decisions even at a younger age.
But that's the only time, though, where that excuse, that's not mine, where it was actually, like, truthful.
True.
Because, 99.9% of the time, like, they say, oh, that's not mine. Yeah, okay, good one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but now that guy, he was coming out, it was Amani Bates. He was coming, like, in high school, was known as, like, the next coming of Kevin Durant. And then got to Memphis his freshman year, pretty much really didn't do anything. I think he might have even gotten hurt. Transferred to, like, ESU or Eastern Michigan or something like that. Didn't really do much there. And then I looked him up, and he is, I think I weigh how much he weighs. So he's 6'10". Sorry, he weighs less than I do, and he's 6'10". He's 170 pounds.
Yeah, can we start, like, and that's another thing, too. I saw these guys at the draft, and it dawned on me, I go, these guys are so skinny.
I know. Other than Scoot.
Well, I mean, Scoot, though, is... I don't really know if I count that G League team as like that's more of a professional team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
it is.
he has access to stuff that But can we start? Can we start feeding these kids?
I know. I don't understand how some of them are this skinny. Like 6 foot, 100. I weigh 180.
Right.
And that's big.
I mean, just because you're
for my height.
I mean, just because you're African American doesn't mean you have to look like you're from Africa.
From the bad parts of Africa.
Right, Somalia, and you're starving. Like, eat something.
Yeah, I don't. And then the players themselves try to say, like, oh, well, just because I'm skinny doesn't mean X, Y, and Z is going to happen. And it's like, well, we saw Chet.
Yeah, it does.
We saw Chet get hurt and miss his whole rookie season. We've seen a bunch of super skinny players get hurt and miss a bunch of time that they weren't supposed to in the beginning. Other than like Kevin Durant is like the only outlier. Even Nerlens Noel, who like isn't as physical as most of these guys, he got hurt a bunch and now he's not really even playing because he's not good enough. Like,
but Kevin Durant gets hurt though a lot.
True. He's just been so good that at least it balances it out a little bit. But it goes to show, like, look at LeBron. I mean, he's always been thicker and more jacked, and he's lasted over 20 seasons.
Oh, LeBron's a freak of nature, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a great comparison because not everyone can just go be LeBron, but...
Right. But it would just be nice if, for one, can we start wearing normal suits?
Agreed.
And two, cut your fucking hair. 3, eat something.
Yep. I agree. I think that those are the big 3 takeaways from the draft.
And these guys were all with their moms, and it's like, Mom, weren't you making sure these guys were eating?
I mean, did you see
That's
some
your
of the
job
moms? Some of the moms definitely thought they were the center of attention rather than their kids.
Well, let me tell you, some of the moms were the center of my attention. I can tell you that.
I was talking about it with. My Aunt Polly says hello. She told me to tell Big Sexy.
Hi, Aunt
she
Polly.
says hello. But I was talking about with her, and she was like, some of the moms were wearing barely any clothes. I was like, I think America noticed that.
You didn't tell Aunt Polly anything else that I said, did you?
I told her that you thought she's a very lovely woman.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's all I said.
Okay, good. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I got you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why the new thing is just being rail skinny. I don't get it.
It's very concerning to me.
I agree, especially as a professional athlete. I don't understand why you would think that like that's going to help you when you get to the league, but
some of the moms like don't fit with the players though. Like I saw one, I forget who it was, but his mom was whiter than white, like blonde hair, blue eyes, and his dad was darker than fucking. He was dark, and I was like, wow, like this is such a. It's just so funny to see the families like in like the pairing of people, you know.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You wouldn't even think it, but yeah, some of the moms were looking good.
They definitely had everything on display.
And honestly made the NBA draft a little bit more watchable.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just see like, all right, who got drafted? Tell me a little bit about the guy, and then move on. I really don't care about the other analysis in that moment. I can go watch, game tape. I can go watch some analysis anywhere I want to. I don't need it all right there on the draft. Just tell me, hey, these are his measurements. This is how he did in his season in the college or whatever, wherever the fuck he played. And now this is the team he's going to. Okay, next player.
I mean, it is a huge skeptic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. But that's really all I had for the draft. I really didn't have many other thoughts because the draft kind of went how I thought it would go other than Cam Whitmore. So
Grady Dick's mom is hot. Christian Braun's mom, when he got drafted, was a smoky.
Okay.
Kobe Buffkin's mom was fucking hot. Brandon Pazim, I can't pronounce it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
His mom was a smoky. And I guess Victor Wembanyama's sister got quite a bit of attention from the male viewers and probably some females and, things like that.
Stephen A was obsessed with Scoot's sisters.
Scoot's sister?
Both of them. His two sisters. There was like an interview part where it was like Scoot and his two sisters, and Stephen A, he was like, I just want to get back to talking to your sisters.
I tell you, he's been making a lot of sense,
I know.
I mean, Luka's mom, holy shit. I was just looking at a picture of Luka's mom.
Luka Doncic?
Yeah. Fucking smoke show.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Christian Braun's mom, the dress she was wearing on draft night when he got oh my God.
I don't even remember seeing Christian Braun get drafted.
Yeah, but whew, some of these moms. And you know what's funny too is because these moms don't look like the moms that I had when I was growing up.
That's like, you ever see the news when like a teacher sleeps with a student and you're like,
where was I?
Teachers when we were in school were nowhere close to looking like teachers that teach now.
And what's stupid is these guys actually tell somebody. Like if I had a hot teacher like that doing that, I would not say a word.
I don't get it. They're just
actually that's disgusting. Those teachers should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, how dare they?
Yeah. Hot teacher having sexual relations with a student.
Leave the kids alone.
Yeah.
But unless you have anything else to get off your chest, I think that's it here for us.
No, I feel I could keep talking about moms, but I feel like this would go down like a bad,
We'll bring up moms when another Zion story comes up.
Shout out Christian. I would love to get Christian Braun's mom on the show.
Oh, not even Christian Braun, just his mom.
Yeah, no, I don't care about Christian Braun. I want his mom.
We'll reach out. We'll see if she can make an appearance.
Sure, she's a big fan.
Oh, of course. If China's a big fan, Christian Braun's mom is a big fan.
China. Shout out to China.
Love you guys in China.
We want to see it. We want to keep climbing the charts in China. So let's make it happen.
So keep sharing it all around China. We appreciate it.
Correct.
But that's it here for us. Thank you for watching another episode of the Atlantic Files, the #1 podcast on the #1 division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. We will catch you guys next week. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere. Share it with a friend. That's all we ask. Thank you, everybody. Catch you guys next week. Peace.